And the world is constantly evolving, from the growth of social media to the way we consume, see and create art. The Usurpa Gallery in Johannesburg is the first ever gallery in South Africa that is expanding on the concept of digital art. It is dedicated to exhibiting fine art non-fungible tokens, or NFTs. NFTs are digital assets which help artists secure their ownership and origin of their art. And to tell us more about this very interesting gallery is the CEO, Steve Tanchel, and Chief Curatorial Officer, KK Rabane. Good evening to you, gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining us here on Newsnight. A colleague of mine sent me this, the Instagram page, and I thought, oh my gosh, I've never seen something like this. This is so interesting. Tell us about Usurpa and what its purpose is.
Sure. I suppose we're one of those companies that Mandisa was speaking about earlier. We are new, we're pushing innovation.
Yes.
We're essentially an African future thought company. Before anything else, before being a gallery, before anything, we're really pushing African optimism and a new way forward. It just so happens that we're doing it creatively and with amazing artists, and I mean, KK can tell you a little bit about that too.
Yeah.
So I think what Steve is speaking about in Dumelang, everyone, thank you so much for having Usurpa on this. I think we're speaking more about how to marry the narrative and innovation. As much as we do see the platform for its ecosystem around royalties for fine art and digital art, which hasn't actually existed in art itself. And in this beautiful moment where the technology assists having royalties for fine art or digital art, and now we can meet the narrative with the innovation. So it's really exciting for us is that we have an amazing lineup of artists, and also we are open to incur more artists on our platform. But the exciting thing for us is to be able to give these artists a new way of thinking, because it is essentially a new medium, a new way of interacting with physical art, digital art, and also interacting with ourselves, because it's more about the narrative. What's the African narrative? Steve spoke about the beauty of the African optimism spirit, and to merge that with innovation, I think there's so much, and we've just touched the tip of the iceberg, and it could only grow and evolve from there, and we're very excited.
It's very exciting indeed. NFTs sort of crashed onto the scene and just exploded. But there might be one or two people who are unaware of what an NFT is and can't really put together whatever an NFT is and how it is displayed in the form of art. Let's just expand on that. And someone who's never come across the word NFT or the concept, just explain what exactly it is.
So an NFT is a non-fungible token. It's essentially at its base form a certificate of ownership on the blockchain. Where we became really interested was that you could have a high-value fine arts item that could finally have a certificate on the blockchain. There are lots of NFTs and different forms of NFTs. It could be an invitation to a party. It could be a $39 million JPEG that someone bought at the height of NFT, which we're not really interested in. It's obviously the money we're interested in, but that type of art really has kind of the creative assets of a chips package, you know. So we're trying to do something quite a lot more serious. And finally, you've got a certificate of ownership for digital art, and that's really where we come in. There are also subsidiary companies that we're trying to create that speak to the provenance of all valuable items, and that's a whole separate interview, and that's maybe more for Mandisa's application.
KK, just talk to us then about how you go about selecting the artworks and the artists that you are collaborating with, because you are the curatorial officer? So you are the curator of the gallery. How do you go about selecting who has the opportunity to showcase?
So thank you so much for that. I also just wanted to expand on Steve's topic, and then I'll jump into that. When you spoke about NFTs being such a virtual experience, for a lot of people locally, we never got the opportunity to interact with it. Usurpa has partnered with Samsung, and they make these amazing matte frame TVs that you're able to purchase.
I've seen, yes.
And that's really one of the ways, the fascinating ways of how you can actually interact with it in your home. And also, for us, the curation, speaking on the curation, was all the artists that we selected on this platform was artists who already on their own were thriving in the spirit of the African narrative. There were artists with or without a gallery that were pushing their narrative and amongst themselves very competitive, but very beautiful way of seeing the new version of Africa. Because it's not how the global speaks about us, it's about how we speak about ourselves. That really puts a mirror to how we envision art going further. And I think that was more exciting on the selection of these artists, and they're from different backgrounds, but it's all very self-reflective to who we are as the new version of South Africa. And I think there's so much to be told from their stories.
Definitely.
And they've just begun, and we can't wait to see what else that they can tell in the future.
So with regards to these pieces that are on display, are they available to purchase? How does it work? Because is it a physical portrait, or is it a digital? It's
So essentially, let me explain.
quite
how it
complex.
works, yeah. We're on a platform called Nifty Gateway. There are other digital platforms where you can buy and sell NFTs or art.
Okay.
It's very easy. You go in there, you can look through it, scroll through the menus. If you like something, you click on it, you create a wallet, and you buy it, and it's as easily to sell. Where, as Keiko said earlier, that's where the artist can pick up perpetual royalties. So with each buy and with each sale, that's how they get a royalty moving forward. And we're trying to work out a system where artists can actually earn on their physical works going forward, so not just digital, which would be the first time in history where artists would participate in secondary sales of their works, which is really important.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So this is really a huge jump and leap in the African art scene. I mean, this is the first of its kind globally, if I'm not mistaken. What are you hoping that this does for the art scene in the country? Are we seeing the scene grow? Are we seeing more people have an interest and wanting to engage?
Before we actually embarked on this journey, it was through conversations with the artists and ourselves as the team, and also given the platform to showcase at Decorex last year, just to engage with the public. The importance of having a physical space, because it was created in such a virtual environment, then having that educational aspect, because things can happen virtually, but there's a community behind that really wants to engage. And we found that most of the artists really wanted to explore, but they didn't have a home for that. And the need for us and the team to really push together and find a physical space where people can have conversations, we can have residencies, workshops, because the educational part of it is very important for both the artist and the investor, the consumer.
Definitely.
And having such a home for us and the artists is just the beginning. And what we see for it going further is really expanding and having corporates engage with us to expand the innovation, the tech that we actually use, because resources are such an important issue in the country where artists can't even get the basic needs for creating this craft. So we're partnering with very important, like Samsung, being on board to showcase this. It's very exciting for us, and I think there's so much more in this medium that can expand right through Africa.
Definitely. And what has been the reactions, just lastly and quickly, because we are running out of time, what has been South Africans' reaction? Are you seeing them come through the door more often now?
Absolutely. It's been amazing. We had our major launch last week. In doing so, R&B got hold of us. They've insisted that we have to join them at the Latitudes Art Fair.
Amazing.
So that's coming up this week. Just yesterday, got a major call from the Zeitz Museum. We are super excited. I think people like to see something optimistic coming out of the country at the moment.
Definitely.
And that's really important. We're all about Afro-optimism, and we're all about future thought.
Amazing. So just quickly, can anyone visit? Is there a process that needs to, is there a fee that's paid? How does it work? And where is the gallery exactly so that people can come and visit?
So yes, the gallery is open for the public. It is open from Tuesday right through the weekend. So weekends it's booking. You can go to usurpa.africa on Instagram and all social platforms, and our website. And also, it's a beautiful space to be about tech, these conversations, and sometimes we do find the artists inside where we can speak more about how they're willing to expand the African narrative.
Amazing. Gentlemen, you are doing amazing work. Congratulations on this beautiful platform that you have created. And I hope that it goes from strength to strength. And hopefully we've gotten some people interested in the art scene again, and hopefully they'll pop you a visit.
Thank you so much for the platform tonight.
It's my
Really
pleasure.
appreciate it.
Can't wait to see you at the plan.
Definitely pop in. I promise.
Excellent. Thank you, promise.
Thank you. That was the CEO of Usurpa, Steve Tanchel, and the Chief Curatorial Officer as well, KK Rebana, just chatting to us about this very unique gallery. And it's really a first in Africa. So if you have time, go check them out. But we